Good morning, everyone, and thank you. We'll get started. You can just, councillors, take seats here. I want to acknowledge all the councillors who are coming in, as well as Mayor Burton, Mayor Goldring, Mayor Bennett, and our chair of the Halton Conservation Authority, Jerry. Thank you very much for coming here today. I'll start off with the bottom line first. We are here today to announce that the Halton Municipalities have filed an application in the Ontario courts to confirm Halton's regulatory role in the review of CN's proposed truck rail hub in Milton. Just before I get into some of the details, I would like to start a short video for you.
CN is proposing a new 400-acre truck rail hub in the town of Milton. This is a significant project involving 20 kilometers of new rail track and 1,600 truck trips per day. The facility will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The proposed location of the facility is on Britannia Road between Tremaine and Bronte, adjacent to existing and planned residential communities. We, the Halton Municipalities, have questions. How will 1,600 truck trips per day impact our local roads, including Britannia, Tremaine, Bronte, and Dundas? How will the operations of the facility impact the adjacent and planned residential communities, including issues of safety, noise, lights, and dust? What are the impacts of the project on the future employment lands planned in this area? How are the environmentally sensitive lands on the property being protected? Information about the project is currently being provided through a federal environmental assessment panel review. Through the panel, CN has indicated that this project is under the exclusive federal jurisdiction. We understand that the real aspects of the project are federal jurisdiction, and that this goes back to the Constitution. But what about all the non-rail aspects of the project? CN has indicated that no provincial or municipal acts or bylaws apply to this project. However, the federal government does not have jurisdiction in many of the non-rail elements of the project and therefore cannot regulate. So who will regulate the use of our roads and the impacts on our community? CN? That is not acceptable. We are asking the Ontario Court to confirm the legitimate role and jurisdiction of the province and the Halton Municipalities with respect to CN's proposed project. We are also asking the province to join us in this action. The Halton Municipalities are committed to using our regulatory role in a manner that protects the interests of our residents and a vision for Halton's communities. To learn more, visit halton.ca/CN.
Thank you very much. Great job on the video, everyone. Just before I call on His Worship Mayor Krantz to come up and say a few words, as you may know, in 2014, CN Rail announced its intentions to create a truck rail logistics hub in the town of Milton. The proposed 400-acre project would create a massive logistics yard that would operate 24/7, 365 days of the year. Located adjacent to existing and planned residential communities, it would add to over 20 kilometers of new rail track. And it would bring at least 1,600 truck trips per day over our roads like Britannia, Tremaine, Bronte, and Dundas. The federal government appointed a panel to review the project, and we were invited to participate, which we appreciate, and we've been fully engaged in as has been our municipal partners. The Halton Municipalities are cooperating on a shared effort to review the project and consider its potential impact on our region and our local residents. Based on what we know so far, the Halton Municipalities have identified many areas of provincial and municipal government jurisdiction that are engaged by the project. We have not yet taken a formal position on the CN project. That would be premature at this time. But based on what we know, we think there's a good reason to be concerned 1,600 truck trips a day, operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, generating noise, dust, lighting, safety, and environmental concerns. CN contends their project is a matter of exclusive federal jurisdiction and that neither the province nor the Halton municipalities have any regulatory role with respect to the project whatsoever. We reject CN's view. Let me be clear. We recognize that rail is a matter of federal jurisdiction, but it is abundantly clear that there are significant non-rail aspects of this project. For any project that was going to put 1,600 truck trips 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can bet that we would be involved. Many of the effects of this project are not covered in any way by federal oversight. If the CN position were accepted, it would create a regulatory gap. If the provincial and municipal governments are not involved, that would mean CN, a for-profit company, would be self-regulating in areas of provincial and municipal responsibility. That is totally unacceptable as we build and grow our community. CN's absolute rejection of our municipal jurisdiction over this project has left us no choice but to pursue legal action to confirm our legitimate role in regulating the project. Together, Halton municipalities are committed to using our regulatory role to protect residents' interests and the vision for our community. We need a cooperative regulatory approach that engages and coordinates the various interests of the federal government, the provincial government, and our municipalities. And that's why we're moving forward with this court challenge to confirm our legitimate role in the regulatory process. In addition, I have written the Premier this morning, it went out at 9:30, and asked that the province join us in this important action. I now turn to our Mayor Gord Krantz, who will speak to the town of Milton's perspective on this important issue. Mayor Krantz? Yes, sir.
Well, Gary, thank you very much. And not only do I speak on behalf of myself, but I believe the 21 of us at the region of Halton here, it certainly has been unanimous support with regards to the court challenge that Chair Carr just spoke about. First of all, I'd like to recognize those many Miltonians that are here this morning supporting this cause. And of course, this is not something that just happened recently. This probably goes back 15 plus years ago. It probably looked as if CN at one point was backing away from it. And I think there was indication of that back some time ago. But back some 3, 4, 5 years ago, they come back with a vengeance. And of course, not only does it have an effect on the town of Milton, but it's right adjacent to the city of Burlington, the town of Oakville. Of course, it will affect the town of Halton Hills as well. One of the things, this is something that just has not come about that we're jumping in, is we thought about that court process for some time, and of course it's now come to pass. And of course, if it can happen in the town of Milton in the region of Halton, it can happen any place else in the province of Ontario. So we take it very serious, and I think Chair Carr mentioned as well, who we do need is the province of Ontario, because they're the ones that tell us what to do and how to regulate and how to plan. And we've been doing that. And of course, we've had a plan into place for the town of Milton and the region of Halton for many, many years. CN comes along and blows that out of the water, as I would suggest. So just does not set well with me, and I'm sure that I speak for the other 3 municipalities as well. So I know Gary and I are receptive to any questions or any comments that any of you would have. So the process has just begun. So I'm looking forward to Chair Carr with the response that we will get from the Premier and the province as to their involvement, because that's going to be the key to our success. So thank you very much. And Gary, back over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Gordy. And with that, we will open it to questions. Just so you know, we have our legal people here. We have people that can answer any of your questions. Our CAO has been actively involved. So if I could ask it to be from the media, who I know there's quite a few here. If you want to raise your hand, if you do have any questions, we could answer them. And I should also say we're all available afterwards. If you want to privately have an interview with anybody, you can do that as well. We're all here for this morning. So any hands up from any media? Yes, right at the front row. Go ahead, Stacey.
I'm Laura Steiner. I'm with the Milton Reporter.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering about timelines. I think a number of us were in attendance at an event up Granite Ridge. Was there any notification by CN before this?
I'll ask our COO, but she'll be able to come back. The lawyers filed the application yesterday and notified CN.
You're asking notification for
Yeah,
CN?
I'm asking just about timelines. Just when was CN notified?
CN was notified yesterday when we filed the application. The application was filed in court, and they were served the papers, as well as I made a call to CN myself as well.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Sorry.
Yes, the CH at the back.
To that, what was CN's response when they were served the papers?
So the lawyer served it in court, and Jane called them. What did they say, Jane?
I don't think, I think CN was a little surprised that we had actually gone to court at this point in time. They were expecting potentially it to go through the panel process, but I explained to them that the panel was not the place to have this determination. It really needed to be made through the courts. But they were certainly aware of our position, so from that perspective, that would not have been a surprise to them at all.
Okay, finally, anyone else? Any last chance? If not, thank you very much. We'll all be available. Oh, sorry, there is one of the, it was Kojiko, sorry.
Has the region proposed any sort of a go-between or a resolution to this that might benefit both parties?
Jane, would you like to explain all the things we've done?
I think the region and the Halton Municipalities' position would be that appropriate resolutions will benefit both parties. I think at the end of the day, we're looking at something that works, for the community, CN and the Halton Municipalities. So we'll be working through the process to look for that kind of a solution for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, we'll wrap it up. Please feel free. There are some refreshments if you'd like some coffee. And again, any of the members of the media want to speak to the mayor, myself, or any of the staff, will be available. And we're also available to do your one-on-one interviews if you would like. And thank you very much, everyone. My last thing is I would like to say to all of the residents, and I don't want to start naming anybody going back, but having been the federal member in 2006, when we shut this thing down and thought it was permanently. I know I've been working with members of the community, and I want to say sincerely to each and every one of you, we do truly appreciate the great work that you do. And on an ongoing basis, please feel free to speak to any of our staff, and they can give you an update of where we're going. Finally, last but not least, to all of the councillors, I want to say a big thank you to you for your support. I think, Mayor, it was unanimous. We had a recorded vote, 21-0. All of us are standing by together, and we, as we always do, stick together. And to all of the councillors who I really enjoy working with, thank you for the great work you do. To our other municipal partners, and here today, I know the municipal partners are here, and our friends from Conservation Halton as well. They're available for any questions or any details going forward. And since we are all here, if any of the residents want to ask any questions of any of us, they can do it as well. The other thing we would ask is so that the media can maybe go first so they can meet their deadlines, and then if not, we'll be around for a while to have a coffee with you and continue on. So have a great rest of the day, and thank you so much, everyone. One more thing, Gordy, sorry.
Yeah, just one more thing, Gary, and again, should ladies and gentlemen go without saying that Chair Carr has taken a lead role in a lot of this along with the region of Halton. So Gary, this is not new to you, and I recall when we first become aware of this application back some 3 or 4 years ago, and the stance that you took right in this very room, and I can assure the public out there that nothing has changed in the interim. So I want to thank you and the staff that work towards resolving this. So thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't know he was going to do that, but as usual, the last word goes to our longest serving mayor. Thank you, Courtney.